Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. Let's talk about 7 ways to improve body language to supersize your business. Talking about body language as part of our focus on communication this month for our Be a Better You annual challenge. And today I shared 5 different main components of body language and then 7 ways that you can improve it. But I talked for a really long time, so we're going to cut it short. I'm just going to talk about 7 ways to improve body language, which will incorporate and talk about the different types of body language as well, or the key components of it. The key components of body language, of course, are, let me just run through that quick. 1, facial expressions, which includes smiling or not smiling, eye contact, and eyebrows. You know, what we do with our eyebrows is amazing. I could tell a story about the cute little neighbor baby boy who can like do the one raised eyebrow and then the Elvis smile. It's so cute. I just met him the other day is why I'm talking about that. But adults do that too. We don't really know what our eyebrows are doing, but our eyes and our eyebrows are sending messages a lot of the time that we're not even aware of. And then eye contact is a big one. Most people know that if you are confident, you're looking in somebody's eye when you're communicating with them, you're not staring them down and intimidating them unless it's a negotiation and you want to do that as a tactic. Secondly, posture is really important when it comes to the message that we're conveying. It's usually a message of confidence of some way, shape, or form. Are you in a upright, straight posture position, or are you slouching, or are you leaning in or leaning back? All of those convey different messages to the person that you're communicating with. Third, there's hand gestures. Yes, I do a lot of hand gestures. Not sure if they're successful or not, but according to experts, open palms mean honesty, integrity, authenticity in your communication. Pointing is considered rude unless you're pointing at a certain person and acknowledging them in a positive way. And then handshakes. Do you have a strong, firm, confident handshake or a little wimpy, wet, sweaty palms? Hey, I'm nervous as hell handshake. That's something we can all practice. I've taught my granddaughters from a very young age to be very strong, confident handshakers. And you look somebody in an eye and smile at them when you are shaking their hand. It says, hey, happy to meet you. Curious about where our relationship might go. Fourth, body orientation. Where's your body pointing? This is really critical in interviewing, in performance reviews and performance appraisals, etc. Are you facing somebody directly, or are you off to the side, or are you doing something different? That tells whether you're paying attention to them or not, whether you're confident or not, whether you're defensive or not. Turning away and crossing your arms is a very defensive pose and says, oh, maybe you've got something to hide. Maybe you're upset about something. We're seeing a lot of that in politics right now. People that are yelling and screaming for a reason. And it usually isn't for the reason that they're saying it is, right? Mirroring, again, I think mirroring is a really powerful thing if you're really engaged in the conversation and you're naturally mirroring the person. But there's a lot of people that are taught to mirror interviewers, mirror people in meetings, mirror people in your feedback sessions, which it comes off as fake and inauthentic if you're doing it in a robotic, fake, and non-authentic way. And the last one is proxemics, the science of personal space. People need their personal space. When we're talking about building and growing and supersizing our business, we should probably use professional personal space. And that's 18 inches to 4 feet away, or social space, which is 4 feet to 12 feet away. If you're coming into my office and in my face yelling at me, which has happened to me many, many times in my corporate career, as well as my personal life, we're going to have a problem. I will stop the conversation and say, okay, we need to take a step or 2 back. Literally, you need to take a step or 2 back. You can yell at me from the doorway and I'm behind my desk, but you cannot yell at me, within 18 inches of my face. I'm not going to tolerate it. It's intimidating. It's, borderline, it is unacceptable, right? But it's up to us to tell people what our boundaries are. So proxemics is another whole science and study that we could look into and learn about. Most people I come in contact with do not have a problem with that. Most people don't just get in your bubble, right? So you don't have to worry about that. We call it getting in our bubble. I've got toddler granddaughters and we're teaching them that if you're in somebody else's bubble, they might not like it and they might tell you they don't like it. That's not bad. It just means you're too close. And that's how we learn about personal space and proxemics and things like that. So what are the 7 ways that we can go about improving our body language in order to supersize and grow our business. Number one, we need to be aware of what we're doing and how we're doing it, both especially in our interactions with the people that report to us, the people that work with us, our potential customers, our vendors, etc. And depending on the nature of the situation will be the body language we do or do not use. And we're going to pick and choose, just like we do consciously pick and choose anything else. We're going to decide if it's a negotiation. I'm probably not in there mirroring the person, right, that I'm negotiating with. We're going to maintain an open and confident stance and posture. We are going to go into every situation, especially I was saying in the Be a Better You annual challenge, I would go into staff meetings, and one of my things I love to do, because it meant I was paying attention and I was aware, was watch everybody's body language in the meeting and all about the meetings. Department head meetings are fantastic for watching power plays and communication and skills. It's just fascinating to do. And so that's probably where I learned the most about body language and how it plays out and how it impacts other people, is by watching and observing in meetings in corporate America. Well, and it doesn't just go on in corporate America, right? Have you ever been to a school board meeting? Have you ever been to a church meeting? Have you ever been to a social organization meeting? Have you ever been to a ladies group or a men's group? It's amazing. And it's really educational and fun to just be an observer and watch the body language in those situations. You can see who's comfortable. You can see who's leading, that, you know, and who's leading the meeting isn't necessarily who's leading all the department heads, right? Use eye contact wisely. Make eye contact, but don't intimidate people by staring them in the eye and not ever blinking or looking away. Control your facial expressions. And I will admit this is one of my personal improvement areas. Is I get told very often that what I'm thinking instantly shows up on my face, and that I need to be a little bit more aware of that, because sometimes I get a horrified look on my face because the idea that someone's presenting to me is truly horrifying, but I don't really want to tell them it's truly horrifying. I want to find a way to soften that message so we can get to a positive, non-horrifying version of their idea. Again, mirror others for connection, but mirror out of authenticity, and you're really relating to them and understanding and having a great connection and communication. Don't mirror as a way to manipulate, right? Every body language, every communication tool can be used for good or evil, right? Every skill we achieve and learn can be used for good or evil. I'm going to teach you how to use it for good, and I'm going to encourage you to never use anything that you learn from me, at least, for evil. 6, use gestures to reinforce your words. And I do this a lot, right? I emphasize words and what I'm saying with my hands. Like, we're going to fill the gap between where we are and where we want to be. That's a hand gesture that demonstrates the gap and that we're going to fill it, and that reinforces the message and the thing that we're talking about, or that I am talking about in that instance. And finally, 7, we want to be aware of personal space and proxemics, right? We want to make sure we're not in people's personal bubble, right? There's no reason to be less, in my humble opinion, there's no reason to be within 18 inches of anyone in a personal setting. Unless, of course, you're whispering something to them. And then, is that appropriate? Depends. Depends on the person, depends on the relationship. All right. That's all I've got today. I would love to know your take on body language and how you think it impacts your business and your business success, your business being able to grow and supersize. If you don't have confident salespeople that have great body language, it's an area of improvement. If you don't have leaders and managers that have great body language, and I worked with a young lady not too long ago named Cheyenne, and she was really struggling with confidence in her new role, and the area she was too scared to even try anything. So what I did and what we worked on was originally just focusing on her body language. Why? Because she can 100% control her body language. Nobody else can, only she can. And so we picked something that you could easily see dramatic results in by making small shifts, right? So she would go into her staff meetings now, and instead of leading without confidence, she would stand up and talk and look people in the eye and do things that made her more confident and practicing. And people responded to her better. And because of that, she was seen as a leader. She got a promotion, yada, yada, yada. That's how those things work. All right. But we started with small. We started just with some body language observation and then tweaks that she could do. And then she practiced them till they just became part of her daily repertoire or how she is, right? As we learn something new and apply it and make it our own, that becomes our own. And once it's our own, it's just part of who we are and part of our personality and part of our identity. And we don't even have to think about it anymore. All right. Have an awesome day. If I can help you in any way, hit me up and ask. Otherwise, I'll be with you tomorrow.